wasn't a case of Thrashton Gate down at Ashton Gate as Bristol City held on for the 3 points, which moved them in to the top 6. As for Rovers, it's about the same shit, different season, folks. Every time we get near the top 6, it all falls apart. Right, folks, back once again with another match review. This time picking apart Blackburn Rovers' visit to Ashton Gate, and we'll get to that in just 1 minute. If you're new to the channel, stop what you're doing, swallow what you're doing, and smash your subscribe button to keep you back up to date with all things Blackburn Rovers related. Championship related. Woo, football lady! We got it all here.
Under a bloody Christmas tree.
That's right, of course, boys and girls, of course. Yes, Rovers not getting the best of things in a very, very scrappy affair, which we're not at our very, very best. A lot of possession, a lot of balls going around the place, but ultimately not much clinical chance. We'll talk more about that in a minute. I want a big shout out, of course, to the patrons. That's right. You know who you are. We've got 22 of the fantastic specimens. We're trying to get up to 25. You could be number 23. You could be number 24. You could even be number 25. Check out the links down below. Patreon.com/RoverSiege to become the latest member of the gang. And also check out the links. Twitter, Twitch, Facebook. I'm trying to get my numbers up on all of those bad boys. As, of course, lots of exciting plans for 2021 around the corner. Hopefully, a promotion party. But, of course, if that's what you're waiting for, you might have a bit of a long wait. Let's get into it. Of course, some of the stats and figures here. In a 1-0 bloody loss at Ashton Gate, from Diedhiou from the bench, been on the field 7 bloody minutes, puts the ball in the back of the net. I was looking into this game. Now, of course, the Bristol City have got some familiar names that Rovers fans are, players that we don't really like. Nahki Wells being one, Chris Martin being another. Diedhiou is another one. You can add to that bucket list, of course. He knows where the back of the net is. Spoke to a young Bristol City lad prior to the match. He did say that he was an influence that could come off the bench, and he did just that. As you can see, the Rovers were in this game for the most of it. 60% possession, 485 passes in that bit of possession. 21 shots on the day, 7 on target. Compared to Bristol City's 40% possession, 16 shots for them, 3 on target. 1 in the back of the net, and that's all that bloody matters, really. But yeah, Rovers toothless, to be honest with you, not really at the races going forward. And when you look at the lineup, though, I thought. We've got a pretty good back line here, considering the circumstances without Darragh Lenihan, who is out for this game, and he should be back, of course, for the next match, which does put a bit of selection headache. What do you opt for? To be honest with you, I'll tell you about my match ratings and the starting lineups in just a second. It was a bit of a calamity Jones between them centre-backs. It just felt like they're playing there for the first... It might have been the first time that they played each other. It felt like it anyway. Kaminsky and Williams, the lack of communication between those two. Ayala and Williams also lacking communication between the centre-back pair. It just felt a little bit rusty, but between them, and it is a little bit rusty. Ayala's not played that many games. Williams just getting thrust into the back of into the first team action from injury. Kaminsky not familiar with playing with these two guys without Darragh Lenihan translating for him. That was the case for me. Into midfield, it was pretty much on paper looked like a decent midfield. Of course, Holtby, he can string a pass together. Rothwell, of course, the man of the moment last time around, and Johnson, of course, probably wearing the captain's armband, I believe, and then up top, Elliot Armstrong and Gallagher. Says what it says, really. But yeah, we were good, we were decent, saw a lot of the ball, and it was kind of like the Brentford game-ish prior to the sending off, where we did see a lot of chances, and ultimately, we just fell very, very rusty, very, 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 very lackluster in that final third. We did see a lot of ball possession. We did see a lot of attacking effort, long-range shots and stuff like that. But ultimately, the quality was not there. Are we missing that killer touch in Big Bad Boy Brereton? What was apparent, by not just me, by a lot of the fans as well. Adam Armstrong, yes, he is top goal scorer. And yes, he doesn't get there without having to go for goal. And of course, he did show his greedy side today. But there was a couple of moments where he was not in the prime position to take a strike, but he did opt for the strike, and ultimately it did not sit well because it was nowhere near the back of the net. So he does need to keep that tenacity, keep that eye for goal in his sights, but he does need to be a little bit less greedy, a little less selfish, and try to look around you, because I saw, I think Elliot may have had an opportunity, Holtby as well, Gallagher maybe as well. And Holtby, other players need to step up and be brave enough to have a shot. Nyambe, for one. I thought today was your day, brother. I thought today was your day. Douglas, and don't even get me started on set pieces. An absolute calamity show even with Barry Douglas on the field. I thought with him on the starting 11, I thought, you know what, he's going to stand up and deliver here. We will finally have a set piece taker capable of actually putting a decent cross in, decent height. We've got height in this team. Gallagher's bloody 10'6" or something like that. Ayala's a gargantuan giraffe of a man, and we've also got other players who are pretty decent size-wise. Derek Williams is not afraid to put the ball in the back of the net in a corner situation. But guess what? We didn't take full advantage of that height in regards to set pieces. In regards to corners, another problem issue for Rovers moving forward. So we need to address that. We need to address it quick. I used to relish Blackburn Rovers set pieces. Now I dread them. I dread them every time they come up. Let's take a look then, of course, at those starting lineups. First and foremost, let's take a look at the hosts. Then they did go with the 4-3-3 with Bentley between 6 row. Viner, Callas and Hunt make up your back four with Backinson, Nagy and O'Dowda in midfield. Semedo, problem child he was in the first half. Wells and Martin up top, of course. Some familiar names for Rovers fans, of course. As for Rovers, we opted also with the 4-3-3. Kaminsky between 6, Douglas, Williams, Ayala and Nyambe. Then we also had Holtby, Rothwell, Johnson, Armstrong, Elliott and Gallagher. Now here are my brutal match ratings. I'm going to give them right at you. I'm sorry, not holding back. Kaminsky with a 6. He did do some very, very risky bits of business today, and it was actually the first time I saw his sweeper keeper nuss. That was a little bit brazen, a little bit bold, a little bit risky, wandering out of his penalty area a couple of times. That ultimately did not look good, but he still was confident between the sticks. And again, unfortunately, he was on the receiving end of a goal, which if it kept clean sheet, if it ended up 0-0, I'm sure a lot of these goals, these percentages would or match ratings would be at least 1 point higher. But Kaminsky got himself a 6. As for Douglas, I don't think he showed his true quality today. Again, people have bad days. We are playing, Saturday, Wednesday. It is gonna come and hurt us in the back pocket or hurt us on the field really today. It should have been, I think, a bridge too far. Back-to-back away trips. Hopefully back-to-back home games will provide better point return for Rovers, because if we can get better point return, you know what, we could still be back in this. Williams with a 6, of course. Ayala with a 6. They did okay, but again, the communication between those three central figures there, Kaminsky, Williams and Ayala, needs to be better. And Nyambe was a 7. I can't give him less. I just love him. I love him, and I need him to sign a bloody contract. Quick time. I'll be heartbroken if he leaves on a free to flipping a Newcastle or a flipping West Ham or something like that. I'll be absolutely gutted. Anyway, Holtby with a 5. I thought he was shit today. To me, I'm going to hold my hand up. The haircut does not suit your brother, and I think it's kind of taken a couple of bits of your skill level off you, I think. Rothwell again with a 5. Not really that at the races today. He had a couple of chances to burst forward, but ultimately not that good. Johnson, I give him a 6. He did break things up a bit, and I thought he held his part of the bargain good. He tracked back. He dug deep. He was involved in a lot of defensive duties, which is what he's there for. Moving forward, Armstrong with a 5 as well. Not very good, to be honest with you. A couple of selfish bits of play. Not really one of his best performances. I thought Elliott was the man of the match, for me, honest with you. He was involved in a lot of stuff. It did show his immaturity on some occasions, and some hot fancy stuff where it's not really needed. And of course, Gallagher with a 5. Clueless today. I thought he was absolutely garbage. Where's my receipt? Give him back. Send him back to wherever we got them. Southampton. Here's some more stats here for you. Touches 657 for Rovers, 504 for Bristol City. Passes 465 or 485 for Rovers, 317 for Bristol City. Yeah, there's not really much you can get excited about that here, really, when you look at it. Blue is us. Blue is the shots. Look at that. One of the, you'll not see it. I doubt you'll see it on the highlights package. But Adam Armstrong tried his long range special today. Long range, but they did against Cardiff, and he scored, and everyone was singing his praises. Beautiful. Today he tried it, and it was early. It was 0-0. It was disgusting. It was horrible. It was that just like bad. It's like when somebody takes a really horrific penalty. You don't want to see it again. You don't want to see this again. It was bad. There was some real shockers today. Not really a performance that I could get excited about, or really, Did we deserve anything out of this game, realistically? I thought we deserved a draw. I thought we were good enough for a draw. If we had won, I thought it would have been daylight robbery, if I'm all completely honest with you. Bristol City, they mugged us off. Nottingham Forest are our ass. Nottingham Forest haven't won many games this season, but they beat us. Bristol City, they're up there in the top 6 for the time being. They've been in the top 6, top 8 the past couple of seasons anyway. We'll be knocking on the door. I'm not impressed with them, and there are some teams that I've seen and I've not been that impressed, and I think Bristol City fall in that category. I'm not knocking them. If they can get themselves promoted playing that kind of football, playing like this today, You know what? You mugged the championship off, brothers. You mugged the championship off. But hey, fair play. You got the 3 points. You're in the top 6. Season was to end today. Guess what? You're in a playoff fight, and you have a shot for Premier League football. As for Rovers, though, Danny Dyer today, one of our worst performances this season. A lot of ball, not much happening in it. Take a look at the heat maps. Of course, as you can see, Rovers dominating, a lot of orange knocking about, which means we had a lot of the ball. Ultimately, though, not going forward. A lot of the ball in the defensive third, in the middle third there, not really going forward. Their defensive area is pretty sparse. Look at it. Look at it. Bristol City did have a bit of possession in our opposition, in our defensive third, as they tried to pepper for a goal at close range. What I did see is Harvey Elliott playing in a sort of false 9 sort of position today, wandering around a little bit. Armstrong on the left, Gallagher on the right, and Harvey Elliott dinking and down and running around bits and pieces. I think that's what Bradley Dack will be doing, of course, when he comes into the squad. Meanwhile, does Harvey Elliott move further back into a more attacking position? Maybe we have a Travis, maybe we have a Rothwell, maybe we have an Elliott in those pockets there. Maybe Holtby. I don't know. Is his future at Rovers? I don't know. I'm not gonna throw him out after one performance, but I just think he needs to step up the plate if he wants to convince us and the board and the gaffer that his stay is going to extend at least another season with a new contract, because there are a lot of these names contracts are up. I believe Nyambi's contract is up, Williams is up, who else? Holtby is up, Johnson is up, Rothwell is up, Armstrong's up next season, and then I think some other youngsters as well. So we need to kind of address those things. That's the big problem for me. Anyway, that's just a little bit what I've had to say. What about the gaffer, Tony Mowbray? What are you thinking? What are you thinking, brother? Tell me what your thoughts about this match.
To be honest, I couldn't see them scoring. To be honest, I think we sort of controlled the game, but it was a bit too end-to-end for my liking. They did have a few half chances and opportunities to cut it back in the box, and it wasn't a game where I felt totally in control, but I didn't think we were going to lose it. I thought whether we were going to sneak it 1-0 really. I think we had the better chances or more opportunities to score, but we were snatching at a few things tonight. We were probably hitting too early from too far out at times. Some chances came and went, and it was a bit frustrating for us. I don't want to get too down on them. Listen, we've had a long trip to Brentford and then a long trip here, and it's not easy. It's not easy. It's very difficult to get the game time in, or the practice on the pitch of what we expect tonight, what we were going to do with the formation that we were playing. And but anyway, I know every team's got the same. We were all right. We could have won that tonight. We had enough opportunities to win it, but we didn't, and we have to accept it, move on, and look forward to Norwich at the weekend. Yeah, a little bit tonight. That's what I said to him at half time. I feel as if we're a bit loose tonight. Generally we're really sharp, and when we break away, the passes are crisp, and the run and the timing of the run, and we score. It's in. Tonight it always looked as if it was just getting away from us a bit. Jacob, this way. Sorry. It felt as if just a bad touch here, a bad touch there, and we weren't as clinical as we normally were tonight, and we paid the price really late on. Yeah, and there was a few things. I've gone through it with a few of them, things that, in my opinion, should have done a bit better. Danny Ayala heads the ball back into the midfield, really, and if he just flicks it back to the goalie, there's nobody anywhere near us. Just flick it back to the goalie. So whether that's the goalie should shout head home, and Danny, as a defender, he's just headed the ball, but he's headed it back into like a fight zone of a midfield where they pick it up, stick it wide, cross it in. Ryan, the ball's in the air a long time. Ryan should deal with it better, I think. The boy just drops it back in on the stretch and ricochet, and it's in. A goal out of nothing, really. It wasn't as if we cut us open or they did anything spectacular. They just lumped the ball in the box and we didn't defend it well enough. And I think that's exactly what it was tonight. I think if we'd have been, as we have been, as our sharpest, brightest, clever team that we can be, we could have scored a few goals tonight and won this game, and that's what the plan was. And yet I don't want to be too hard on them. I think we seem to be on this coach forever, to be honest, and then sitting today in a hotel, it's not ideal. It's not ideal. It doesn't feel ideal. It feels as if, and the games just keep coming. We'll get home at 3 o'clock in the morning this morning. I've given them the day off tomorrow because I don't want them to get up. We get home at 3, get up at 8 to come in for work for 9. It's just fatigue. The next game we don't have any chance to prepare really. So we'll have Friday to prepare for Norwich, and but a lot of the preparation has been done throughout the season, and the team should know how we function and what we're doing, and hopefully we pick the right team and get a result against Norwich. I said that a couple of games ago as well against somebody. Was it Millwall at home? We felt we were a bit off the pace. It would be nice to, and I think in a few weeks' time there's a break where we've got Saturday games for a couple of weeks, and I hope that that'll refresh the team. We have to get the balance between work and rest, and I know that Bradley's not far away. I know that Brereton's not far away. I know Travis is not far away, and we'll be able to refresh the team, and hopefully we'll push on and be stronger as the season unfolds.
So what's been going on social media? Let's take a little look at it, shall we? Of course, kicking it off with Adam Tautuki, our leap year man. He says, why do we choke every time we get near the top 6? I just don't think mentally we have what it takes as a recurring pattern last 2 seasons. Hope I am wrong, but keeps happening. Has to be something in that, even if we're again the better team. Even Jordan Kinsley said this. Armstrong, the greediest I've ever seen. Douglas is well on corners and not much of an upgrade on Bell. Meaningless padded possession again with next to no chances. Too many of these. Lewis Hartley said this. Yeah, Armstrong is a cracking player, but he's turning too greedy for my liking. Could have created a few more better chances if he decided to pass, but no, he keeps on shooting time after time. Adam Lodge said this. Can someone tell what Holtby does other than stroll around half-arsed and pass it backwards every time he has it? Stealing a living, he says. Meanwhile, Solsters Inc., aka Sully, says neither team deserved more than a point. Taylor Ayala should have cleared that bouncing ball, should have buried the header at the other end. Can't really fault the players though. Bar too many pop shots from 25 yards. Armour missed. Rare support up top. Unlucky today. Sully and stinks. Sully and blah 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 blah. Adam Cattrall said this. Bristol City are very average. The positives is we completely outplayed them and created several opportunities. The negatives, obviously, the result. Armour needs a rocket off the manager tonight. Top players always pick the best option. He's better than that. Good summary there. Robson Green, is it the bloody fisherman? It can't be. It's not that. It's some other one trying to be the fisherman. Not sure how we got beat there. By far better team. Overall good performance. Is Douglas not fit or what? Not seeing what the Leeds fans were raving over. Set pieces need work, but apart from that, good effort, lads. That's positive-ish. Meanwhile, JK9897 said, we're in a good position, but let's be honest, if we can't pick up points in these sort of games, we aren't going to be up there at the end of the season. Teams that deserve to be up there prove a point in these sort of games, whilst we can't beat anyone in the top half. Mac Harrison, 8. Love Armstrong, but just because he's scoring lots this season doesn't mean he can't just spunk away possession every time he gets the ball with a hopeful shot. Meanwhile, Barry Gagsteth said, didn't do enough, went on top to win, didn't deserve to lose. Our goalkeeper could have had a quieter night. Sometimes you don't deserve it, but lose. Can't wait for Dackie to get back. He'll help the gap between midfield and attack. I bloody well hope so. Ryan Lambert said, has played well and lost. That's football sometimes. Some of these comments are ridiculous. Played shy against Barnsley and Millwall and won. Move on. Solid point there. James Green said this, not impressed, but we're due a loss. We seriously need to improve set pieces as they've been awful recently. They've been absolutely dreadful, mate. Absolutely dreadful. Didn't play badly, but Armstrong was really wasteful with the shots. Far too tame. Would have been a brilliant night to bringing Dak on, indeed. And Garth Lemon said this, we need to be beating the teams at the top half of the league. Beat Norwich at home Saturday and we'll be back on track. And of course, Martin Mönchengladbach, got through in the old Champions League. And of course, at least nobody got injured. A fair point there, indeed. But yeah, I did say this over the course of the videos over the past few days. Brentford, Bristol City, Norwich, 3 massive games really, and we were bound to lose one of them. We didn't pick up a win against Brentford, which was always going to be tough anyway. I thought in theory we were going to lose that one. This one I thought was expecting deep down in my heart was going to point, and then I don't know what the heck we're going to get out of Norwich. But it's at Iwill at the very least. Darrell Lennon will be back, and maybe just maybe. Some other players will be back to reclaim a shot and maybe just get that drive. And pull a fast one. And if we were to get that 3 points against Norwich, you know what? Out of these 3, 4 points out of a possible 9, 8 too shabby, brothers. Ain't too shabby. That's the positive. That's the best I could do. That's the best I could bloody well do on the grand scheme of things. Let's take a look at, of course, what else went on in the Championship this week. Of course, Swansea against Bournemouth 0-0. Millwall against QPR 1-1. Of course, no one separates there. Huddersfield against Sheffield Wednesday. Big win for Huddersfield. Big couple of days for Huddersfield, actually. Stoke 1-0. They actually lost to Cardiff. Coventry 0-0 against Luton. Watford did beat Rotherham again to keep up their playoff ambitions and more. Preston, though, 3-0 winners over Middlesbrough to give themselves a big old boost. Bristol City, though, moving to the top 6 with a 1-0 win over Rovers. Norwich, though, keep up the heat at the top of the day, but Nottingham Forest, though, are in a bit of trouble. Brentford 0-0 against Derby. Back-to-back draws for them at home now. Barnsley 2-1 winners over Wickham. And Birmingham beat Reading, of course, 2-1 in the end. The table looks like this. It does look like this. I'm just taking it all in. I'm soaking it all up here, lads. It's the first time I'm really digesting the situation. Of course, Sheffield Wednesday down at the moment, 9 points on the board, but a win for them in the next game, they could be up and at them and put Derby and Forest in a bit of trouble. Wycombe also doing grinding out the results. The biggest winners, I guess, Huddersfield are on the climb. Look at them. Just one defeat the past 5 for them. Rovers, though, took a knock here. Middlesbrough in a bit of a wobbly bit of form. 3 defeats to the past 5 for them as well. Cardiff 4 wins on the bounce. They're back in it. They're back in it. Stoke also having a bit of a wobble. They're on the agenda as well. Rotherham not too far away either. They're also on a bit of shitty form. So if Rovers were to somehow pull the fast one of Norwich and, of course, follow up with a win against Rotherham, guess what? We'll be all right. We'll be all right, lads. And we are only, 5 points. It does sound a lot, though. 5 points off of top 6. So... But we need to win. We need to win this one. And again, it could all change thick and fast. All thick and fast. Speaking of thick and fast, of course, let's take a look at the what's coming up this weekend. Cardiff against Swansea in about 11 years. Of course, it will be. They did meet in the playoffs, and I think ultimately Swansea were the better side. I can't remember if that's true or not. Meanwhile, Forest taking on Brentford, of course. Forest need a win. They need a bloody win. Brentford need a win as well to get themselves in the top 6. Birmingham against Watford, of course. Birmingham did beat Reading, of course. Can they follow that with a win against Watford? Very, very, very much on the table. Rotherham against Bristol City. Again, Rotherham could bounce back and they could sting Bristol City at home. Middlesbrough against Millwall. A battle of the M's there, of course, down at Riverside. Sheffield Wednesday against Barnsley in a Yorkshire affair. Fruity. Luton Town against Preston. That's a mid-table crunch clash at the moment. Bournemouth against in-form Huddersfield. There, points to be on the table there. QPR against a dodgy-looking Reading. A bit wobbly. Wycombe against Coventry. Relegation dogfight right there. And Stoke go to Derby. But of course the game of the week will be leaders Norwich. Come to Iwill Park, of course, to see what they can do. And that's it, my friends. That is bloody it. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, smash that thumbs up. But of course, if you're new, bang your subscribe and keep you bang up to date with all things Blackburn Rovers Championship play, World Football play. We're going to all here on the bloody Christmas tree. That's right. And of course, check out the links down below. Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, and all that kind of jazz. And also become the latest member of the Patreon gang. We're trying to get up to 25. We're on 22, lads. We're on to 22. Just 3 more to go. 3 more to go. Could you be number 23? If so, check out the links down below. Patreon.com/Rovers. There'll be some perks and privileges over the next month or so once I get my arse in gear. This is actually going to be, hopefully, back end of this week quite quiet, and I can play and try and catch up with some stuff. I even got a busy week next week, though. Got folks coming around, and I've got to set up a temporary studio and all that poop. Don't even know what's going to happen with watch-alongs. There might be some weird watch-alongs. Speaking of watch-alongs, we hopefully will have a Norwich watch-along on Saturday, though. But after that, it might get a little bit weird. We might have, like, some family viewing watch-alongs with people. Yeah, weird. They don't know. They're Americans. They haven't got a clue. Haven't got a bloody clue. We'll think about it. I don't know if they're going to be up for that, though. If not, then I might have to, I don't know. We'll see. That's it, though. Disappointed about this one. Dis-a-bloody-pointed. I am disappointed with Rovers. I'm not upset. I'm just disappointed. This was the chance for 3 points, massive points, but unfortunately, we lose. Hopefully, we'll bounce back Saturday in Norwich. Until then, though,